mirror frame bolted to the mirror housing. All the nuts and bolts are present and bolted in place to the door, to the mirror, brackets to the housing. Not bent, them twist, cracked. There is some surface rust. Mirror glass, both of them, clean that crack, properly adjusted. The door, not bent, them twist or crack, you gotta open up the door. You gotta explain the hinges. All the bolts are present, the hinges are bolted to the door. On the cab and to the door. Not bent, then twist or crack. You gotta crank the window up to see if you get glass in there. ABC type 20 fire extinguisher, fully charged. I don't know if you get safety check the card over here. I don't know if it's up to date. The safety pin, lock in the trigger assembly. The rubber hose tightly connected to the extinguisher, no cut, crack. Plastic nozzle, not crunch, crack. Tightly mounted to the floor on the driver's side. The rubber seal around the door, it doesn't matter which truck, they're the same. The rubber seal around the door, tightly mounted to the door. No crack, no chunks missing. And then you will close the door, make sure the door locked. Under here, you gotta mention this electrical wire connection. That's the float that gives you the reading on the gauge, sending unit, we call them sending unit. Oil level sending unit to the gauge. The electrical wires, no bare wires, they're tightly connected for corrosion. Hose connection, fuel hose connection. The couplings, they're tightly connected, threads not strip, bent, twist. Rubber hose going to the tank. No bulge, cut, crack, free, not crimped, no leak. The fuel tank. Check all the wells, factory wells, front and back, for any crack, any hole. Check for any leak. The two steps, the wells, they're not cracked. They're free of debris. There is rust. Two tank straps. Nothing both present. Bolted to the frame. Bolted to the tank L bracket. Not bent, then twist, cracked. The rubber insulation tightly mounted, not worn. Tank, fuel tank. L bracket, all nut and bolt present, bolted to the frame and the tank. Not bent and twisted, cracked. The step free of debris, the cap tightly mounted, no leak. Check all the factory wells, front, back. Making sure that there's no leak. Okay, this is a pressure release hose. And then close the door lock in place. From behind, this is a grab bar to enter the truck 3-point. No matter what truck you bring down there, exit 3-point, go in 3-point. If you don't, they're going to stop the test and they're going to send you home. You gotta go in 3-point, come out. Back here we got a header board. Got the U-bolts over here on both sides. They take them off the header board to the frame, to the back of the tractor. Check all the wells for any crack. They're not bent or twist. All the grab bars, take the mountain, not above present. We check all our hose connection from the tractor to the header connection. Emergency hose, service hose, blue, red. Electrical light line, cable. We check for any damage. Cut, crack, freeze, strip. This could be connected, so this is a light plug lock in place. This is the emergency. This one fills the tank in the trailer. This is a service line. Every time you press the brake, air comes through this line to apply the brake on the back. Then you get the glad hands. The header board clamps. You tightly mount the header board to the top of the frame. The frame on both sides, continuous member from the front to the rear. No major bent end, twist, crack, rust. Well repairs. The battery box over here. You're not going to open up the battery box. You can look at them now. How many batteries get? 3 batteries. All the battery cables, they bolted to the battery terminals. The red one is positive line, the black one is negative line. All 3 batteries are clean, not cracked. There's no maintenance, meaning you cannot put fluid inside. Yeah, the cables, the ground and the positive, they're all bolted to the battery terminals. They're not bent up to, it's free of corrosion, no arcing in the battery box. All 3 batteries clean, not cracked, no hole, free of corrosion. The battery bracket, nothing but present. Tightly mount the batteries in the box. You gotta tell them the battery bracket tightly mounted, the batteries in the box. You're not going to open up the battery box for the test. Okay? But you got to know what's in the battery box. So you got to take a picture and tell them while you're checking the battery box. Rust, the cover. Still serviceable. The frame on both sides, from the front to the rear of the chassis, just like the other truck. You're going to mention the frame. Okay, now bent end, twist, crack. It's a cross members. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the front. For the extractor, all the nuts and bolts are present, all 5 cross members. They're the main support of the frame. They're tightly bolted to the frame. And up and twist, crack. There is some surface rust. Drive shaft. Okay, the drive shaft connected to the back of the transmission. Connected to the first axle. Another drive shaft on the second axle. We check the universal joint, the bearing caps. They tightly mounted to the universal joints. Nuts and bolts are present. They bolted to the transmission, bolted to the drive shaft. They're properly greased and a bent end, twist, a crack. Check the factory well, not cracked. Making sure it's free of debris and properly greased. I will check the universal on this side the same way. The universal free of debris, all the bearing caps bolted to the universal and the strike shaft. They're properly greased and a bent in twist or crack. And then the second one back there, I would check them the same way. Catwalk. All the nuts on both pairs and catwalk bolted to the frame. There's a crack over here. Surface rust, free of debris. Quarter fender, plastic. No crack, no chunks missing, no hole. Nothing but present. Bolted to the bracket is bolted to the frame. Then piece of crack. Check my front spring mount. All the nuts and bolts are present. The front spring mount bolted to the frame. Not bent and twist crack, there's some surface rust. We check the hanger. We got a torsion bar on the bottom. Nut and bolt present. Torsion bar bolted to the hanger, bolted to the axle. Condition of bent and twist crack. No leak. Okay, I got a leaf spring. We call this a drop back. It goes past the axle, then it drops down. The purpose is to sort of the airbag, the bracket, the spring goes down and turn to the left. So the bottom of this airbag, the nut and bolt present, is bolted to the offset spring bracket. Tightly mounted to the spring bracket. There's two U-bolts up here and a metal block. They tightly mount the leaf spring to the top of the axle. On the bottom we have a bottom plate. All the nuts and bolts are present. The U-bolts are bolted to the bottom of the axle to the bottom plate, not bent in, twist or crack. Shock absorber on the back. Tightly mounted on the drop back spring in the back of the airbag. The nut and bolt and bracket bolted to the frame on the top. And a bent in, twist, crack, and no leak. The airbag. No hole, no crack, no bend, no twist. No leak. The top bracket, nothing but present, bolted to the frame. Okay, that's your suspension system. The point is for the spring mount and the hanger, the leaf spring and the airbag. Now we're gonna do your brake. So this is the brake chamber right here. You got two air hoses that are mounted to the brake chamber. The two rubber hoses. They're tightly connected. The couplings, they're not stripped. The threads not stripped, not damaged. The air hose are tightly mounted to the coupling on the brake chamber. Threads not stripped, not damaged, no leak. The brake chamber, nothing but present, bolted to the S-cam bracket. Not bent and twist crack, S-cam bracket. Bolted to the wheel hub. Nothing but present, S-cam bracket, tightly mounted to the wheel hub. Not bent and twist crack, properly greased. Brake chamber clamp, nothing but present, bolted to the brake chamber. Brake chamber, not bent, dent, twist or crack. Not rusted, no hole and no leak from the brake chamber. Okay, with the trailer on top of here, your view is not going to be as good. But that is the suspension. Then the brake hose, the brake chamber, air scan bracket, shock adjuster. Same as the front.